Well, I've been firmly living in the past for a couple of weeks now, enjoying my retro sims, but I thought it'd be time to get back to something a little more modern. And now that the hype's died down a little bit with 1.6 being released for AMS2, I wanted to sink my teeth in a bit more and do something that's not just a short sprint race around a track. I want to do a full Grand Prix. So tonight I lined up some of the most difficult cars to drive in this sim. The 1986 Formula One cars, the Formula Classic Gen 1. And once again tried to do my best Gerhard Berger impression for a full distance 70 lap race around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. And I'm recording this after the race. This is one of the most tiring things I've done in a long time. But I wanted to do it to see how this compares to all those old sims I've been playing. They're so good at offline racing and putting you in a race, making you feel like you're taking part in a real Grand Prix. And I've always thought that AMS2 was best with the classic Grand Prix cars. And so let's really put it to the test. Full distance race, starting towards the rear of the pack and trying to see if I can get up towards the front. And most importantly, keep this thing on the road for all 70 circuits here. And I think it ended up being pretty interesting. So buckle up, get ready to wrestle that turbo. And most importantly, enjoy the ride. All right, so here we are on the grid. Lights are lit. Hit the rev limiter a bunch trying to get off the line. The turbo just comes on all at once. We'll come down to the first corner here. Cheese the AI a little bit up the inside, wheel to wheel there, all over the curves, one of the Minardis. Accelerate up the hill, all right, we got single file. One of the Minardis looks to the inside though, he's gonna make a pass. Thinks about it though as we come down into the S. I'll have the better line on the way out. He gives up, thinks better of it, but it really slows me down there. This whole race is going to be a test in patience with the accelerator and the turbo lag. This car has no torque at low RPM, and then it comes on all at once, all at the same time. Try to sneak up the inside here. The other Minardis will go wheel to wheel. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Oh, he's going to keep it. Hopefully that didn't damage the car. Brake ultra late down into the hairpin. Could have almost taken these guys in front. We got boots in, so everybody lines up to get into the hairpin there. All right, get it up the gears and head past the old start finish. Get into this awesome S. This is mainly the only difference on this course compared to these days. Fast S there, it's super awesome. Then we get into the final hairpin or chicane. Rather, and it's a little tighter than it is these days, past the wall of champions.
It's just 34.6.
All right, we'll see where I am. As we pass the line, I got a pit board pop up in the top right.
P17.
17th from 22nd, not bad for one lap. A little messy there in the middle as we go for the move on boots in here, and we got the two Lolas in front of me. Lolas essentially look exactly like their kart counterparts. I think Newman Haas in the mid-'80s was basically the factory team for Lola in kart, and for 85-86 they painted them exactly the same as the Formula One cars. Kind of cool. Been watching a lot of 80s kart lately for some reason. Bad acceleration there as Bootsen's looking on my inside. I love the sound under the bridge there. The audio is so good. I've been playing, obviously, so many of the older sims, and
leading the race.
There's a lot of ways that these new sims are so much far advanced than the old ones. But the audio has got to be one of the lesser talked about. It makes such a huge impact. If it's anything like videos or what they teach you with film editing, is that audio is like 70% of it. And you gotta think it's the same for games, as his two teammates looking to pass each other off to sit in behind.
The leader has just done 129.
I think it's Cheever in front. I don't know who the Lola directly in front of me is. We'll pass the line, we'll see on the pit board.
Okay, Jake, keep it nice and smooth. Come on, let the race come to us. 16th.
Johansson? No, it's not Johansson. I don't know who it is. I'm sure somebody knows. John Ron Jones. Or Alan, is it Alan Jones? That would make sense. He filled in for Andretti and I think in 85 in kart at Road America. Alan Jones, lone kart start. I think he was doing quite well too. He had some sort of engine failure or something. This is the awesome, if I haven't said it already in the intro or otherwise, this is the awesome skin pack by A. Fry & Co., the immersion modding group for AMS2 that basically has made mods or skin packs for like every season of Formula One that's in this game. You basically do from 85 through 95 with pretty accurate and good looking cars.
Pretty hot.
Yeah, I can feel that. Tires are starting to get interesting as well. But yeah, 85 through 95 is like my favorite era in F1 anyway. One of them. I think I go through cycles of what's my favorite, but absolutely love the 80s and 90s.
Senna, 128.
Oh, these two in front make a little contact. Stalled out a little bit here in my march towards the front.
That's your fastest lap today.
Alan, really glued to his teammate, trying to stick up the inside of him. He gives me the space. Very late move. Try to accelerate here, block him a little bit.
Go on, Jake. Good stuff. Keep it coming.
All right, that's an unconventional passing zone, but made it work.
Is now open.
Right, pit window open. So
you'll need to pit for fuel by lap 37.
All right, should make it to halfway then. So yeah, I've got it on pit stops, or I got it on the, letting us take fuel in pit stops, which I don't think, I'm pretty sure was outlawed by this point in Formula One. Right about this point though, maybe 85. If I'm not mistaken, but I think it wasn't legal. But I'm really interested to see if the AI can actually do a good fuel strategy and everything, and I think it makes the racing a lot more interesting for a race of this length to have to take fuel and deal with all that. You could hear like a rock bounce off the wall there. That was cool.
Gap to Jones behind us now, 0.7.
Cheever in front here. He's following a Tyrrell. Oh, a big mix-up in front. I think the two Ferrari teammates are having at it as I hop the curb a little bit there. We're driving the Benetton for Gerhard Berger. It's not quite the Benetton. I call it the Benetton with the
in front is now
air quotes.
0.43.
There's only
focused. Apexes and exits. Apexes and
all right,
exits.
Jim. Got crew chief.
Place.
Sometimes he likes to talk quite a lot. But yeah, there's only one real car in this race, which is the 98T, the Lotus, which is kind of the one everybody goes to all the time. And I quite like the generic models. And in the spirit of those older games where all of the cars were basically a generic model, thinking of the Crammon Sims and even IndyCar 2 and stuff, everybody's got the same car in those basically, with a couple variations, which is essentially what Reiza did here, which I just had a bunch of understeer there again. But yeah, this is the 4-cylinder car that's a part of the set. There's also a 6-cylinder V6, and yeah, both just have massive turbos. The 4-cylinder turbo, it just comes on.
Temperatures are okay.
So strong and is really hard to handle. Wow, a lot of wheel spin there. First gear, second gear, lots of wheel spin. Third gear, sometimes wheel spin as well. All right, a little bit of a run here on Cheever. Dive to the inside.
Nice move, mate.
Make it work though.
V14.
Nice defense. We got Brundle in front then. I didn't know Martin drove for Tyrrell. I'm not super knowledgeable about the 86 season of F1. I should watch it because it was a classic season. I know the highlights. Came down to a 3-way battle for the championship in Adelaide. Mansell dramatically, as was his career, dramatically blowing a tire on the straight when it looked like he had the championship won, and it was all lost from there, and I think Prost went on to win. And it's a classic. It's one of the highlights you've all seen a million times. But I think in this race, Mansell actually won Montreal in '86. And we'll see how he's doing today. I think he started up front. Well, we might not see him, but jump up the inside of Brundle there. Quite pedestrian, that pass.
Well done, Jake. Nice move, mate.
Haven't seen a whole lot of defending yet from the AI, but they're not pushovers.
That's a new fastest lap for Senna, 128.70.
Maybe Senna's leading. That would make sense. So we got his teammate right in front of me here, Dumfries. Nice little pack of cars in front of him, just waiting for something to happen there. I've had a few, just in some of my practicing and testing and stuff, had a few pileups here and there. Cars get spun out
now 0.8.
Might block the track.
That was at 30.
But honestly, it's been really enjoyable. So we're right on the back of Dumfries now, so we have a good amount of speed here. So now we're getting into the race proper. Burnt off a little bit of fuel. I've got a little sim hub up that shows the fuel and oil and water temperatures, because there's no gauge for that in this car by default, and I have to think in real life the driver would have access to that information. If not, the crew could tell him. So that, and I got the little pit board that pops up at the end of each lap that I made. So I think that's all you need. The rest, we'll just figure it out as we go. But yeah, I mentioned pitting. We'll have to pit. I fueled the car to halfway, so I'm doing a one-stopper unless something dramatic happens here. And we'll see what the AI does. I have no idea if they're going to do a one-stopper or two or none. I suppose we'll find out at some point.
Senna, 128.60.
Senna's just cranking out fastest laps. So we got a nice run on Dumfries here.
128.47.
Whoa, he's a little later on the brakes there. Let him have that. I don't want to go too wide again through there. Driving this car is tricky, but it's very satisfying. You have to be ready to lift off the accelerator at any point. Get up the inside of Dumfries here, down into turn one, let it run a little fast. Scoop and take the exit away from him. All right, we got a Brabham now in front. Nice little train of cars here, the two Ferraris, I think creating a bit of a pack. In front, I think it is. A lot of understeer there. That one corner, I just get tons of understeer in. I don't know why. Just randomly, though. Almost sounds like a whip crack when you come under the bridge. Really enjoying this. I did a lot of racing with these cars back last fall after the 1.5 update. With the 90s F1, as I got a good run around the outside as these guys all stack up. The Ferrari quite slow there. Maybe having gearbox issues or something. That was interesting. Luckily not hitting anybody there and kept Dumfries behind me. Alright, we're not going to take it 3 wide. It looks like Alboreto though. Whoa, as Dumfries was looking to the outside, he's going to jump the curbing. I didn't even see him there at first. Luckily didn't make any contact there.
812. Your front brakes are getting pretty hot.
Alright, I gotta get around. Alboreto here is kind of really making something of this as I almost spin the car. McLaren in front, that must be KK.
Gap 2 for Tracy. Ahead is now 0.5.
But yeah, I drove these cars a lot with the 1.5 update and just doing full races and stuff, and had a lot of fun with them then. And man, it's tough to make a comparison. My memory is never great. But if I liked them then, I love them now.
Behind is now 0.7.
I don't have a lot of experience with cars like this in Sims. I think there's a good mod for AMS1 that I've tried before. I think for from ISO, if I'm not mistaken, that has the 86 cars. And I've drove it a little bit, but never a ton, so I don't have a lot to base it on, but the cars just feel really satisfying to get right. They're so mechanical and difficult to drive. As I think that actually might be Prost in front, got around the Ferrari. Satisfying to drive, but also difficult, and I'm no doubt going to get tired by the end of this because it's just a really active car to do the H the whole time with the heel toe clutch and all that. Or up to 12, so we got to get into the top 6 to get points. I don't know if that's on the table today. We'll see what I can do. Strategy is my best hope at that. It's the tires, I'm starting to feel them wear out a little bit. Quite as fast as we once were. We're on the medium compound. I think the AI only used the mediums, if I'm not mistaken, so keep it fair. And I don't think the softs would last long enough if the mediums are any indication. Would be nice if we could kind of do whatever we want with tires, and the AI would as well, but he's right on Alboreto. Almost lock up the tires there as I thought about it, but then Patrese jumped out as well, so keep him to the inside. Yeah, he's definitely stuck. They have trouble getting around each other sometimes, but it's spreading out more than I was thinking it might. So we'll see if we can do both of them here. Get up the inside of Patrese. Outbrake Alboreto as well, trying not to outbrake myself. There we go, 2 for 1.
Nice front.
Yeah, at least they're not all in one big pack with each other. They are spreading out.
Sectors 1 and 3 are 0.8 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace.
All right, Prost here is behind my teammate, Teo Fabi. He was a hot commodity in the 80s with racing.
Prost ahead is now 1 second.
He was pretty much taking kart by storm in the early 80s and then jumped over to Formula 1 and did a few seasons over here. He finally came back to kart, and he stayed in kart for quite a long time. Drove for Porsche in IndyCar as well.
The next car is Fabio.
Fabio, all right. I guess our crew's got a nickname for Fabi. I'm not sure if he would like that one. All right, we gotta try not to. I'm hitting the rev limiter a lot. I don't know.
Stick to the plan. Don't be intimidated here.
I don't know if I can brake my car super easily or not. I don't remember having too many reliability problems when I was doing this a ton, but knock on wood, it's probably going to come back to haunt me here. We got to beat my teammate though. Second, man. I must be off the leader's pace though. Senna's a pretty quick driver. I don't know if you ever heard of him. You don't get a lot of tools in these cars to play around with. We do have anti-roll bar, just a front roll bar though. Everything feels fine so far. I'm not going to play around with it yet, but no rear adjustment on the roll bars, just front, so you can get softer, stiffer, just to help her make that turn in a little more solid. As man, a bunch of arrow understeers through that one corner for some reason. Or the track is dirty. Maybe somebody put oil down. We'll head cannon that. But yeah, just front roll bars. And you do have a fuel map as well, which you can dial back to consume less fuel. I don't know if that will preserve the engine at all. We got it on the most rich mode right now, I believe. And I think we've got brake bias as well. But that's basically it. Not a lot you can do in the car other than drive it. Just gaining on Fabi there. We can see if we can make my favorite move here down. the chicane. No, he's a bit later on the brakes. Whoa, car behind me jumps into the pits. That pit entrance, I mean, I think they'll probably phase through me here in AMS. Speaking of phasing, still that crew issue. So we'll go for the move on Fabi. Whoa, lock up the left front a little bit, skip over the curbing. He dives out of it.
Okay, Jake. Lap times are pretty consistent.
We don't want the two team cars to come together. But yeah, the crew's still run through the wall. Dang. That bug's been in this game since the start. I don't know if there's any way to get rid of that. But yeah, the pit entrance at Montreal, I think, has been an issue in real life as well. The fact that, you know, if you're going into the pits, you don't necessarily want to brake for the chicane. And you're going to be on the racing line as well. But in the sim here, where they can phase through you, they'll just drive straight through you, and it scares the heck out of me every time. I almost miss a gear there. First of many, probably.
Fabio behind is now 0.7.
Fabio, he's behind me. It's ironic because Teo Fabi had no hair, and Fabio, I think, is known for his hair. All right, a little bit of open track finally. So we scoot ourselves into the top 10. Not a bad first stint so far. We're through about a third of it, I think. 30 liters down on the fuel. P9, all right.
129.50.
Got Prost in front here.
Best lap in this session.
Let's see if we can catch up to him. Gerhard Berger in this real race, I think, if I haven't said it already, DNF'd with a turbo issue. But he did quite well. I think he won one of the, I think it was Mexico, late in the season for Benetton. And this car, I believe 86 was the season they had the painted tires. Right rear wear, that would make sense. A lot of the corners turn to the right here.
Tracy has retired from the race.
Tracy's out, all right. We passed him already, but had some sort of issue. But yeah, 86, I think, was when Benetton painted the tires.
128.42.
If you've never seen it before, definitely look for a picture of the of Benetton at 86. I think it's one of the more outrageous or flamboyant things the team's ever done. I think they had Pirelli as a tire manufacturer, and I'm not sure how much they liked that, but they essentially painted the whole tire on the outside bright green and bright red to match the colors of the car. Like everything that you could possibly paint on it. It looks, I think it actually looks kind of cool, but I can understand why the tire manufacturers maybe didn't like that. But unfortunately, we can't get that in the sim. I think that's just a limitation in what's paintable. The skin packs and stuff look amazing, though. I think that Immersion Group does such a great job. Sounds so good.
We're seeing minor wear on your rear tyres.
Well, I can tell. Starting to fishtail as we exit the corner. It's going to be real patience with the throttle and the turbo and everything.
Brake temperatures are fine, mate.
Cooled them back down. You do have the ability to kind of back off and cool things, so you can overheat the tires if you're sliding them around a lot. And you'll notice, I love the way the tires progress in AMS2. I feel like you can really tell what they're doing, and it makes it a really dynamic driving experience. Never mind the fact that we can do we can have flat spots and things now. So jump the curbing there a little bit.
Time was at 129.52.
55 laps to go, right? Another 20 laps, hopefully, before we pit. I think we've got enough fuel for it. Just try to enjoy the driving. At some some point I think we're going to catch some lap traffic, and I'm very, very eager to see how they do.
You're reeling. Frost in. The gap is 2.9.
I think with the 1.6 update, Reiza did a lot around, there was a lot of notes and things around blue flags and how AI behave when they're getting lapped and things, and I don't know how it's going to be with this. I haven't done enough long races yet to really determine whether or not they're going to get out of our way or cause everybody to stack up. That's really, that and the strategy are the two big things. Because so far, the beginning of this race has played out beautifully. I really, really like this. Reminding me a lot of the stuff I've been seeing in GP2 as far as how the race is progressing so far. Get up when you start in first gear. You have to get up to second, short shift.
29.27. Good lap. That's your best in the session.
And then when you get into second, you got to be ready to pull your foot off the throttle as soon as the turbo comes in, or else you will spin the rear tires and probably spin out yourself. Is a little bit wild on the entry there. You can do second gear through that downhill S. On the curbing. You can really use the curbs in this, which is cool.
Fabio behind us now, 8.3.
Alright, so pulling away from Fabio. I think Prost we're really holding station with each other. It hasn't changed much. I think he's pulled away slightly though.
The gap to Prost ahead is increasing. It's now 3.8 seconds.
Yeah, 3.8. He's maybe gained a second on me over the past few laps, but that might change once we get into traffic. Past the old start finish there. That was where the start finish was in 86. I think that's about the only thing that's wrong with this version of the track. This is an 88 version, and I think after the 86 race they changed it to this modern starting position. I think that chicane we just went through was also a little bit faster in 86. Otherwise, this track looks great, and just the fact that it is like an 80s track just really helps immerse you. Such a necessary thing, I find. Gotta have the right tracks, or at least close to them. I don't want to see modern sponsorships and safer walls and stuff. It just takes me completely out of it when it's vintage cars. You feel like you're doing more of a vintage event than a race from the time. This game has so many of the tracks from this era of Formula One. We're really, I mean, for historic ones, I think you have about half the calendar. If you throw in the non-historic versions, I think you've got like 2/3 of it. And with some of the other tracks that this game has, you can fill in some of those gaps with plausible tracks or ones that kind of fit the vibe and have a good season. I don't know. I'm really enjoying this so far. If this plays out good with the pit stops and stuff, I could imagine doing a little bit more of this. Prost is just too fast for me. Up the road there. I don't know if those are lapped cars or cars for position. Maybe we'll catch them together.
Relay Frost in the gaps now 3.0. Sector 2 is 0.8.
Alright, I'm pulling
the pace.
I'm slow through sector 2 compared to whoever the leader is, Senna or Mansell or somebody up there. Better second through that series of corners. Do need to start like limiting your shifts at some point, just to the necessary ones. Ligier. That might be Lafitte. We got around our new, I think. Was our new? I can't remember if he was with them in 86. Proust going for a move there, and the Ligier actually goes into the pits, so that simplifies that for us. We'll see if that was for position, though. You can see the crew guy waving them in. They get really eager to wave their cars in, I guess. Yeah.
You've just done a 128.92.
128's not bad. Okay. It's about as good as I get around here with these cars. Not in qualifying trim. We're halfway through the tank of fuel that I started with. I think I had just about 90 liters in there. We can adjust the strategy if we need to. Although it's tough to do. That's one thing that's really tricky, is that you can't pause the game in this to adjust the strategy, which means you got to do it as you're driving. And in cars like this, I'm busy enough. Look at what it is, though. Yeah, I got it set maybe to 100 liters, but we might have to lower that a little bit. I definitely don't want extra fuel if I don't need it.
Gap to Frost, ahead is increasing. It's now 3.1.
Chase the rear end into the hairpin. Tires are definitely getting a little squirmy under me. Shift up to fifth there. Fourth and fifth gears are pretty far apart. I think for the slipstream, maybe. I haven't changed the setup very much from the default. It's I did reduce the wings a couple clicks just for that straight line speed, so I can overtake. Might be why I'm a little slower in the second sector. I think it's mostly turns in there. I'm closer. I think I'm closer than ever to Prost. So maybe just barely faster than him on pace. That late snap that the car gets when the turbo comes in is just so freaky. Doesn't take much.
Arnoux is now retired.
All right, Arnoux is out. I think that was the Ligier we saw going to the pits, which is good for me. He was in front of me. He's also notoriously difficult to pass. We got both McLarens here, so KK is up the road. I think he started towards the front in this race. Whoa, that was a weird skip in the engine. That was just a weird shifting thing and nothing else.
Gap to Frost in front is now 1.6.
Yeah, I've closed in quite a bit.
129.36.
So whether it's traffic or not that does it, I've closed in the gap a lot. Definitely got traffic now. All right, it's about to get fun. Or frustrating. Oh, a big lockup from a car in front. Bunch of smoke. Look at this. Somebody's having an issue. Try to get out from behind him. Oil all over the windscreen, you can imagine. All over my helmet visor. All right, get around those two cars. Zach speed. I'm not sure what that other car was that was smoking, but that was... man.
Fastest lap for Senna, 128.42.
Just seeing this right now, you could tell me this is Grand Prix 5, and I might believe you. This is cool. I knew this game had it in it. I don't want to say anything too soon. We still got a long ways to go, but it's making me feel like I'm in a race, and that's all I want from these games. I just want to feel like I'm doing the thing that I saw on TV. Just narrowly in on Prost here. Come on.
was 30.88.
All right, we got another Zach speed in front. His post goes to the inside, maybe. Whoa, he's all over the grass. All right, that's a little much, but at least he got around him. The bar is low. That was good. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest move, but he got around them very quickly. He wasn't stuck behind at all. They fixed some of it. In the past, the AI could have been stuck behind those cars for 3-4 laps, going their speed. They seem like they're going very slow, so maybe they're really letting us by.
Is pitting.
Oh, Senna in the pits, all right. Oh, he must be doing a two-stopper then. Gotta be doing a two-stopper. It's very early for a one. I still have about a third of my stint to go.
Rundle's just retired from the race.
Rundle's out.
The Cesaris behind is increasing. It's now 16.
We got McLaren on McLaren in front, KK on the outside, Prost on the inside. He's gonna easily get it. That has to be a team move there. All right, KK is mine next. See if we can follow Prost to the front.
The next car is Rosberg.
This is awesome. Oh man, I'm so happy I decided to do this tonight. This is not the most relaxing way to spend your evening. Far from it. I'm going to be exhausted at the end of this thing if I make it, but... Oh, there's another little skip there in the engine. I don't know if that's just an audio thing or...
Well, that was at 31.
Early signs of failure. Hopefully not.
The Cesaris behind is pitting now.
Oh, we got a little bit of a AI squabble here. Whoa, they're going to split him. Prost goes up the inside. I'll take the inside as well. Get stuck up behind the arrows here. Side by side, I believe. That's so sketchy.
Nice one. He's now retired.
I think that was on KK. And my mirror's there too. I think that's KK. He's going to want that back though. That was a bit awkward. Well, he's going to look to the inside here as we'll come up to the next chicane. Pull away from him a bit though. Maybe that low downforce serving me well. Get to take the apex there. Right, we're coming into my best sector too, so hopefully I can run away as he gains quite a lot in the initial acceleration. He's right on my wing. Oh, he chases me into the corner and I outbrake myself. It's all right. Just gathered it up. One last kick of oversteer from the car.
Don't let this guy distract you.
I'm trying not to. All right, get it through. Whoa, man, that is the worst. All right, takes me right out of it. That's so distracting. I hate that so much. They don't attempt to not hit you. I can understand the phasing just because maybe it's tough to get them to behave correctly, but they don't even try to not hit you and they just drive right through you. That's really distracting. Try not to let that ruin my fun. But at least we're still in the race. I really blew that chicane though because of that. Alright. I was on cloud 9 for a minute. We're back somewhere between Earth and the clouds. We're up into 7th though, which might be on strategy a little bit. I can tell the tires are really struggling now.
He's retired.
Cheever's out. I don't have it set to the this car set.
Has retired from the race.
This car set comes with PK and the PK the leader. Okay, PK is the leader. Interesting. But yeah, this set comes with special car sets.
Head is now 4.6.
It comes with special car sets for every race, basically. So you can have race by race liveries and everything for this, which is very cool, especially if it was to decide to do something a little more in depth. But I think I've got it on the Detroit round. I didn't actually select the Canadian round, so I don't think Eddie Cheever was in this race in real life. Otherwise, it should be pretty close. I think Detroit was the next race.
Prost ahead is pitting.
All right, they're all pitting, so they might all be on a 2-stop. And if I'm on a 1-stop, that'll definitely beat Prost. I think. We'll see. It's interesting.
5.
Yeah, so 45 laps. So I'd like to go another 10 laps. We'll see how the tires are doing.
Ginzani has just retired.
But I don't want to take hard tires for the second stint. And if I go back on mediums, it's going to be even longer towards the end of the race if I pit early. So I kind of need to go halfway now. I've committed. see how it goes. A bit fast there into the left-hander. Mansell into the pits. So Piquet and Mansell up front. Senna as well, I think. He might have pit earlier. Yeah, he was the first one to pit. That's right. So that's our little lead pack, maybe our podium right now. They're so far ahead. If I'm in fifth and they're pitting already.
Senna is leading the race.
All right, Senna back in the lead. Just won by the pit. So we're about a whole straightaway behind him. Yeah, I don't think a win's in the cards today, but hopefully we can get this points finish.
Johansson in front is pitting.
Johansson's pitting. All right, that's Ferrari. He's in Ferrari for 86 with Alboreto teammate. All right, P4. Not bad from 22nd on the grid, but it's on strategy a little bit, but we've passed a lot of cars, and I should have been much higher on the grid. I thought it'd be more fun to try to pass some cars, so I only did one lap in qualifying. I'm really impressed with this. Try not to let the couple bad points take it out. The pit entry, the crew members jumping through the walls. But the pure racing, driving is super fun, and the AI are doing a good enough job at running the race itself so far that I feel very immersed in that and curious to see how it's going to work out on my strategy compared to theirs.
He's retired.
All right, we got another retirement. Might get kind of quiet here for the second half of the race. Open track for the end of our stint. Got pretty worn tires now, so it'd be nice to not have to pass anybody or do anything too spectacular. Keeping the car on the road with these things is hard enough. A groove and drive like 95%. That's how I try to think of it.
Laffite's behind is now 7.1 seconds.
If you can drive these things for 100% the whole time, then more power to you. Best to not lock up the tires. The tire preservation and stuff is just the big thing. Really need to treat your tires with some respect in a long race, and I've never really quite experienced it the same as in AMS2. I just think it does such a good job at punishing you if you punish your car and your tires, especially in a car like this. These big soft slicks, even though
time was at 128.92.
Even though these are the mediums, they're still quite soft in the scheme of things. It does not take much to destroy them. Overheat them. I don't think you can actually blister your tires in this, but you can overheat them and they'll be very, very slick until you get them back down to temp. They'll also wear out faster for that whole period. Lock them up, you'll get the flat spots, ruin the steering, cause you to lock up even more. A really, really quiet part of the track now. cars up there though, so there's somebody ahead. I haven't been paying attention to the gaps on the pit board. I'll take a look this time at who's in front and behind me.
Warwick is now retired.
Derek Warwick is out. A lot of retirements. See one car up there.
Was at 129.
PK's the car in front. 41 laps to go. Got 20 liters of fuel left. We should no problem making it to that 35 lap mark. We'll pit right on halfway if we can.
Gap 2, Lafitte.
There on the brakes. Had it slow down though. That'll lock up. Love how you can see Montreal in the distance at various points. This is on an island. I've been fortunate enough to go to this circuit a few times actually, but once for a race. I went to the 2008 Canadian Grand Prix. Saw Robert Kubica win. Classic race. 1 year after his crazy accident, or 1 or 2 years after his crazy accident at the very same circuit in this corner. No doubt every Formula One fan will have seen at some point. But he comes back to win the Grand Prix in the BMW Sauber. Highly unlikely. Everybody thought it would be Hamilton or Raikkonen. Not a Sauber, but there they did. They won. Very, very happy that that's the one and only Grand Prix I've ever been to. All right, big chain of cars in front. A lot of smoke still from one of them. I wonder if he's still trudging around, just dropping oil everywhere, or if it's a different car now smoking. I like it, anyways. Bit rough on the downshift there. But yeah, this is an island circuit and it's a park most of the year. There's Montreal. And you can actually go and just ride your bike around or walk around the circuit when it's not race time. They take down a lot of the walls and stuff too. It's a bit like Albert Park, Melbourne, Australia, where it's just kind of a public park the rest of the year. It's a very, very cool circuit. The island itself was kind of built up for the Olympics back in the 70s, and they kept straight off there as the old rowing facilities and stuff.
Those rear tires, keep an eye out.
Oh, I bet you can. Yeah, they kept all the buildings and stuff from the Olympics and kind of repurposed them and everything as facilities for the Grand Prix. Makes perfect sense. Car smoking goes into the pits. Probably another retirement we'll hear in a minute. Got a Zach Speed in front.
P4.
Still P4. 4 more laps till the pits.
Lafitte behind is now 7.0.
Kept Lafitte about 7 seconds back, so I feel pretty good about where I am, but where I come out from the pits, we'll have to see, and then I hope they'll all have to pit again. And through taking one last pit stop, we can gain some time. I don't know if it'll be enough to fight for a podium, but hopefully enough to stay in this 5th spot, 4th spot, thereabouts. But there is a pit speed limit. You have to put one in AMS2, unfortunately. But it's set to as fast as it'll go, 200 kph. So effectively there's none, because it's hard to go much faster than that, especially on pit entry.
You've got about 4 laps of fuel left.
4 laps of fuel, only do 3 of them, ideally. I should look at my strategy here and make sure I'm going to take the right amount. I have it on 100 liters, which is a bit too much. Although I don't want to run out of fuel. I've been kind of infamous for that. In front. Must be Bootson. Thought I'd do this one in ultra wide. I don't do videos too often with the ultra wide, but something like this, it's a long race. It's kind of ultra immersive. Some people really like it when I do those. Right, yeah, it is Bootson. We'll get around him. Yeah, they slow down a lot to let you by.
3 laps of fuel remaining. You've just done a 129.44.
Still doing 129s. It's not too bad.
Behind is now 8.7. Just retired from the race.
Alright, Nanini's out. He'd end up racing for Benetton, like in 88, 89 or so. Fuel. I need to look at my strategy.
Wear on your left front. We're looking at significant wear on those rear tyres. Mansell is now the leader. Mansell is pitting.
All right, Mansell into the pit. So he's doing the halfway strategy as well. He's not that far ahead of me. But yeah, I'll maybe put 95 liters in. That's probably a little too much. But I'd rather be good than not. I don't think two laps of fuel is going to make the ultimate difference here today. The line 36.
2 laps of fuel left. We're currently setting the pace.
We're P3 now. Mansell actually came up behind me. Wow, I'm close enough to actually jump him. That's good. And we'll tell the crew we want to pit here.
Acknowledged. Pit stop requested.
So we'll fit maybe 1 lap early. But I guess it'll be halfway as we cross, so it'll be perfect timing. I'm liking this strategy. I'm interested to see how the 2 stoppers file in. If I'm anywhere close to them, we've got it. As long as I don't make any mistakes. Best I can. I don't want to speed. It is possible to speed at the 200 kph.
What's your speed?
I was going to say, I don't actually know where my stall is, but down here. All right, a little bit slow on the entry. Finally get some water. All right, come on. Get the fuel in. Still bouncing up and down, which has been a bug for forever as well.
We're done. Go.
Try not to stall. You can stall, and technically that would be your race.
Okay, Jake, you're halfway home. Got plenty of fuel. Pit exit's clear.
Man.
You're brakes are cold. Be careful.
You're telling me that totally caught me out. Just kept it on the circuit. All right, we got cold tires and cold brakes and everything. Try to take it easy here. The car is so heavy too. Man, what a sensation. It's so different than when I came in. You can see why a lot of races drivers have issues with the outlap. If it's anything like this, that was so close to going off. I got a McLaren right behind me as well. Well, here he comes. He's gonna get to my right. I didn't want to let him in there, but just got me. Wow, I'm gonna outbrake myself into the hairpin. No, come on. Almost run into the barrier together. Cross gets around me, but he's got to pit again. I think he's gonna have to pit again. If I can just stay close to him or get him back, we've got this. I just need to not ruin these tires. I gotta go just as long as I've gone on them. Let's just get the car warm. We'll use him as a braking marker. Follow him around for a few laps, let the car get into a groove, and then we'll try to overtake him again.
Okay, Jake.
I'm in fifth though.
Focus. Keep it smooth. P5.
Alright, you're right. I'm in fifth though. This is so good. Fifth, potentially looking at fourth, and who knows what the leaders are doing. I didn't think I'd be this close to Prost. I thought he was going to overtake me quite a bit. Scrappy outlap, something to work on, definitely. It's a lot trickier than I thought it was going to be. The car just did not want to stop heading out of the pits there. And I was also looking in my rear view to try to see if he was coming.
2 seconds.
Alright, the brakes are now up to temperature. It's just the car feels really lethargic on all the fuel. Oil water temperature look good, so I'm trying to not over rev the engine at all. You do have a rev limiter, but you can't smack it all the time. How cool is this? This is really doing it for me. I've said it a bunch of times already, but I've always thought that the Formula Racing in AMS2 is where it's at. The vintage Formula Racing, I think that's the best thing they've got going in this game, and I mean, this is just proving it to me. I'm not exactly the kind of guy that's doing the modern endurance stuff.
That time was
just from some friends I've heard their experiences with it, or you know, if it's fun for them, and it seems like it's decent, but this to me feels like it's crushing it. And I now have some very recent experience with some of the best sims to ever do the offline racing, thanks to all the fun stuff that's come out over the past 2 weeks. I've spent a couple weeks in DOS in the old 90s days just doing GP2 and IndyCar Racing 2 non-stop, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, but it got me thinking about how this was so close at one point.
10 seconds.
And the update, did it make it better? And man, I don't know. I don't know if it made it better, but it's good. It seems like the lapping and stuff is so much improved than it's ever been. And so far, everybody's doing decent strategies and stuff. So I'm quite enjoying it. Ran wide there again. I'm getting tired now. I did the 45-minute qualifying before this, directly before, so it's kind of like doing a Grand Prix and a half all in one sitting. More sim events need to have the qualifying in days before the actual race, so you can go into the race fresh.
Frost in front is now 2.0. Sector 1 is 0.8 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.7 off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.32 off the pace.
I'm not super slow, but everything feels good now. The car's just heavy. I did put a little extra fuel. We had about 100 liters when I came out of the pits, which is more than I started with, but we should be totally fine to the end. keep it on rich. Love seeing the birds fly away and stuff. Sitting just not too long now as I'm recording this, a couple days until the launch of AC Evo, which is so anticipated. And I've seen every take in the world about what that's going to be and whether or not people like it, or everything from folks are so overhyped for it to people swearing it off already and saying it's the worst game ever, even though we barely know anything about it.
We've just done it, 130.00.
But at least for me, regardless of how that is, I hope it's good. But I feel like we've got so many good things already that I'm not, although I'm excited to try it out, I'm not really hoping it to be anything specific, or I won't be totally distraught if it's not what I like.
The gap is 1.5 seconds.
Hopefully it's a game for somebody. I don't know if it'll be the one for me. But I think this is definitely a game for me.
Gap to Johan's behind is now 12 seconds.
Yeah, if I was to do a full season with this, you'd have to find a few replacement tracks. One of the Mexican Grand Prix is missing, the French Grand Prix is missing. I think there's a couple other ones as well. There's a few tracks that wouldn't have the retro versions, like Monaco, which is the big shame. There was hints at some point that they might come out with a retro Monaco, which would be so awesome. But even with the modern Monaco, it's not the worst fit. But we'd definitely have to have some replacements for some of the others. Could use Long Beach instead of Detroit, I guess. That's another one that's missing. Sure, there's a lot of folks out there that have created some custom schedules and ideas for what tracks you could use for a full season, but I don't know. Based off what I'm experiencing here, I could see myself doing that as I get stuck up behind the arrows there a little bit. Prost has pulled away a little bit, but fairly certain he's going to pit again. And so as long as I can see him, really, and even then, as long as we're within 20 seconds or something, we should be able to easily leapfrog him and stay in front. We're much closer than 20 seconds right now. My car should get faster for at least a little while until the tires start wearing, and we'll just have to see if he's any faster at the end of the race with new tires, or if they just do fuel.
It's increasing. It's now 3.3 seconds.
3 seconds isn't bad. Big jump off the curbing there. You gotta be careful not to spin the car from launching it like that.
Your lap time was at 130.40.
Kind of wish we had the faster chicane version of this too there at the end on the curbing a little bit. You gotta be careful with the inside curbs sometimes around those longer corners. Not quite as temperamental as GP2 though. That's one of the things that's been so difficult in getting back into that sim a bit, is the curbs, man. The Grand Prix 2 curbs are deadly. I was trying to do, I think, a race at Imola, and coming out of Acqua Minerale, I just cannot get the car to not spin. At least on the setup. I gotta work on the setup. Lip crack as we go under the tunnel. pushing a little bit. I'm trying to get to him, but I also don't want to ruin the tires. I think he's going to have to pit. If he doesn't, though, we're close enough where I can try to make a push to it. What is it, the difference in 2 points in the championship? 6, or 10, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, it's just 1 point. You really had to work for the points back in the day. Only top 6 getting them.
That lap time was 1:29.60.
All right, 28 laps to go, though. Whoa, it's a marathon, this one.
You're ringing in Frost.
I get in second that time. It's not quite.
6 seconds.
I was able to do that when we were on low fuel. Not quite yet, though. It's definitely quicker if I can stay in second and get the torque to accelerate. Just carry a lot more momentum. You don't have to stop to shift. I've got one of the Zach speed cars again. They might be slow, but they're making it, which cannot be said for a lot of the other competitors. Here. He's been pulling away from me a bit, but feeling like on this lap I've actually closed it back up a bit. Might be able to go on the offense now. Johansson's behind me, but he's 19.4 seconds off, so we really got nothing to worry about back there. I'm going to fully focus in front of me here. Lock him up. Right on the edge of locking him up there.
The gap to Frost ahead is now 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, we're not far from him. Still staying out, though. I mean, I guess, what would it be? It'd be very close to now that he would want to pit. Probably 22, 23 to go if you're splitting it into a two-stopper. We'll see if he does it. If he doesn't pit by lap 20 to go.
PK is now in the lead.
PK leads. Interesting. Must have gotten around Mansell then, and or Senna. Come on. Not really getting the bite I need. I'm actually going to lower the front bar a couple clicks.
The leader, Senna, is pitting.
All right, Senna in the pits. We're not going to be nearly close enough to overtake him in the pits, but we'll see what he's doing for speed when he comes out. So he's made the two-stopper work. I think earlier Prost only pit a couple laps after Senna, so possibly we'll see him pit here in a lap or two and I won't actually have to make the overtake, which I'm sure some folks will be disappointed in, but much rather just get it on strategy than risk life and limb for a pass on Alain Prost. Not this lap. still in 5th, so no issues for Senna in the pits there. I don't know if they can have issues in the pit lane. It'd be kind of cool to see, especially for this era. They were not as proficient as they are these days with stops. All kinds of shenanigans, people dropping tires and all kinds of weird stuff. Like I said towards the start, I do not believe they actually were doing refueling at this time, but it adds a little bit of a spice to this, and I really just wanted to see how the AI do with it. And every indication in this race is that it's pretty freaking good. This is a real, genuinely competitive race that was able to work through up the pack into the top 10 fairly easily. But now that I've gotten towards the pointy end, it is real tough. 110% AI, medium aggression. Medium's the best setting if you want the AI to be as diverse as possible. Preserves the full spread.
Ahead is now 1.5 seconds.
Doesn't necessarily mean that some drivers won't be aggressive, but it makes sure that they all have their full personality, essentially. Skipping over the curves there. Man, we're so similar speeds. I gain on the straights, but he gains through the corners. Could probably use a little more downforce. I think it was the wrong decision to take some out of it. It was a little fast there into turn 1. We got a Lola we're coming up on. Fast there as well. Come on. Don't bottle it now. He should pit any lap now if he's gonna. I will be really shocked if he doesn't jump into the pits at some point. Me down so much. I guess that's not so unrealistic. It was a bad spot to catch a car, but he's going so slow, I'd rather he just floor it and get out of my way.
Ahead is now 2.3 seconds.
Let me overtake in a natural spot. Feeling it now. I don't know, Prost hasn't pit. I wonder if he pit early and he's just going to run to the end, meaning I've got better tires. But he's got the track position. But that would be shocking to me. In which case, I really shouldn't have lost the spot to him. Should never give up a spot. It's definitely a lesson in general.
That's a new fastest lap for Senna, 128.02.
Senna's just cranking him out now. And not pitting. All right, we got to pass him. Push as hard as I can here.
You've just done a 129.44.
Over a second slower than Senna. We'll just say it's the car. up that exit right out to the line there. Don't want to dip a wheel on the dirt.
Frost ahead is now 1.4 seconds.
Alright, tried pushing on this lap a bit and it's working. Definitely closer than I've been. Right up to his rear wing here. Alright, maybe we can get a good slipstream. He's fast on the acceleration though. Sparks spitting out from under the car, pulling up on him. Might have enough speed here to get alongside. Whoa. Almost lost it there. Got in front of him though.
Good pass. Nice front.
Alright, just try to run away. It's right there. Don't let him distract me. All over the curbs.
Palmer has retired from the race. The leader, PK, is pitting.
PK's in the pits. Yeah, he's going to be way too far ahead. Is that his third? His third stop. Can't remember. One slow car here. Hopefully he picks his side of the road. There we go.
Fortunately, they can do the work.
PK's still there, but we should be able to pull away from him down the straight, I'd imagine. Definitely feeling it now.
Lafitte ahead is pitting.
Lafitte in the pits. Oh, I think we'll be able to get him here then. Whoa. Was that Prost as well? I got around him anyway. Man, opening up here. So come across the line.
P3,
20 laps to go. P3 up on the podium.
Is 0.42 off
And
the
doing my
pace.
quickest lap to boot. Senna 26 seconds ahead. And Lafitte might be the car behind me. But it's looking pretty good. Just 20 laps though. I gotta stick with the car and hopefully not throw it into the barrier here. Or run over a lapped car. Zach speed in front lets me in. That was really close. Closer than I'd like. Alright.
It's getting closer. The gap is now 1.6 seconds.
Alright, Lafitte might be close, so he's going to challenge for the podium, definitely, if he can. I don't see him back there. Maybe just entering the chicane as I went through it. Definitely keep an eye on that gap, though. Well, at least I got by Prost fair and square.
Just done 128.34.
Maybe he decided because he was past that he might as well pit anyway. Be able to just chill out for the last 20 laps, but I think Lafitte's going to keep me honest here. We'll see what the gap is, we'll compare it, and see how hard I have to push.
What was that? 129.76.
Alright, 5.7 seconds last time around, 27 seconds. I lost a little bit to Senna, so I think it's clear Senna's faster. I won't give up entirely, but I think that's a very, very long shot. You would have to have some sort of issue at this point. But third step of the podium would be totally fine with me. Do not count your chickens. Got plenty of fuel though. Won't be foiled by that today.
Fastest lap for PK, 127.24.
Ooh, bit of wheel hop there. I'm braking braking. I can hear Lafitte. Yeah, he's there. This is going to be a bit of a battle from behind then, defending. I haven't had to do much in this race yet. The one time I had to do it, I let Prost by, so hopefully it's I'm able to stay in front of Lafitte here. I want the podium. Be a heck of a story from 22nd to podium.
Was 129.28. Sector 1 is 0.9 off the pace.
Probably driving noticeably slower. I just getting to that point. Getting to the point where you just get sloppy with things. Maybe not quite as gentle on the accelerator as you should be. Pretty on it this whole race. Bit of oversteer there.
Lafitte is getting closer. Gaps now.
Oh, I know.
8 seconds.
Last time by, but when he's close enough to see, you don't really need the gap anymore. It's closer than the mirrors make him look. 3.6 seconds.
0.48.
6. I'm losing about 0.8 to Senna each lap. Of that. You don't want to hop the curb so much that you bounce twice and then you'll definitely spin. Come on, a bit wide there. Tires are starting to wear out just a little bit. Driver's wearing out quite a lot. Laps to go. It's going to turn into a countdown here, and Lafitte closed in about a second that lap. Don't spin out either. Actually a pretty big slide there. I might be able to start doing second in some corners. I can hear him. Don't even need to look.
Seconds.
He's right there now. Now, how is he going to do this? Just have to get off the throttle slightly there. I'm gonna try all my best to try to get this, to save this without getting into a crash. Slam on the brakes there, jump the curbs. He's right in my mirrors. No, you don't.
Okay, Jake, hold your nerve, just keep it and smooth.
Oh, he's going to go for the inside.
Just done a 129.20.
But that move is tough because you then have the inside. The guy on the outside has the inside for the next corner. He's not smart enough to dip out and actually try to go for the pass fully. That's one thing I've enjoyed with GP2 a bit this week, is that the AI will actually pass you. But I think unless I make an error here, it's going to be tough for him to get around. Not impossible, but tough. But let's try my best to stay in front of him, see if he can do it. He's going to have the advantage on me in the acceleration as long as I can block.
P3.
Oh, he's going to try to break around the outside here. Oh, I'm going to run wide. This is exactly what happened with Prost. No. That's a tough one. Ugh, no. Come on. Get in front of him here, right behind him.
Right, the guy ahead of us is Lafitte.
Oh, a lot of wheel hop there. Just chuck it up the inside and keep the position, or get it back. That was scary. All right, we're all ragged now, all over the place. He knows I do not want to give this to him. Yeah, I was running wide in the hairpin there is one of the dangerous spots, so I got to make sure I don't do that. Oh, he's looking up the inside. Do a little college fade, the Pruitt fade. No, he's going to look there. Try to keep it in. Give him the space, but not the apex. Oh, I missed the gear. Missed the gear, still slow it down, but I'm worried about my engine now. That was a bad over rev. Just looking to my left. This is going to be the most tiring end of the race ever. A lot of wheel hop. I don't know why I'm suddenly getting that. I'm probably not blipping hard enough. That's what blipping does. If you ever wonder why you do heel and toe in the first place, it's to get the RPMs up so that they match how fast they need to be so that the gear slides in without any complaints. And what's happening right now is I'm not blipping hard enough because I'm tired. And this is giving me a lot of wheel hop in corners.
Let's see how wide you can make this thing.
I'm trying. Chase it out to the wall a little bit there. Just a little squeak from the tires as I get it stopped. Alright, pulled out quite a bit on him there. Hopefully his tires wear out or something and I can get a little breathing room, because this is intense trying to keep him behind.
That lap was a 128.28. That's your fastest lap.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm doing fast laps here. Late in the race, 12 laps to go. It's going to be the longest 12 laps of my life. inside though. Oh.
That's a new fastest lap for PK, 127.24.
Able to hold him off there. Really could make a much bigger dive to the inside and kind of outbrake himself a bit, which I'd have to try to do the over-under to combat. That's the difference in racing. A real opponent versus an AI. Fortunately, they just don't do stuff like that yet. He never does anything that would jeopardize his own line. I'll try my best to stay in front of him here. Still not easy. I mean, this is still a pretty big challenge right now. Everything included, but even just the AI keeping him behind. He's trying. It's not the AI that'll do it, it's the turbo. Flats, man, it's fast. Whoa, here comes Lafitte up the left side. You can see his front tire there for just a minute. Ride the curb on the inside here. Should be pretty easy to defend there. Oh, the big turbo in second is the hardest gear. First is so short with this setup that you just kind of get through it easily, but second's where the turbo really kicks in. Making another push at it here. Go a little defensive into the chicane. All right, come to line. 10 laps to go. 10 laps to go, up into P3 from 22nd on the grid. Lafitte chasing me. Had Prost for a little while, but on strategy I was able to jump him, and then Lafitte, I don't know what strategy he was on. I think it was also a 2-stop, but I did the 1-stop, meaning my tires are going to be a little bit more worn than his in general.
Jake, hold your nerve, just keep it smooth, no mistakes.
He was looking for an outside line there. Oh, that was one of my biggest saves yet. Come on. I just can't get the grip down now. Oh, he's looking to the outside there. Inside, outside, inside. Basically just waiting for me to make a mistake because it runs slightly wide there, but he was looking to the outside anyway. Could use a lapped car here to like spice it up a bit and then maybe get between us for at least a couple corners and break this. Oh, once again, not quite getting the blips. Getting a blister on my left hand from this. Feels a little bit like when you're jogging and you know you got one more mile to do and you're so tired. Definitely a workout. This is the most, it's kind of like driving a Group B rally car, but there's no break after the stage.
New fastest lap for PK, 127.0.
Wow, they're really, really fast up there. Maybe we could hope to be lapped and just have to do one less lap in general. Oh, here it comes on my right side. Nah, he's just not able to make the smart move to back off at the right time. It's a bit disappointing, but he's still trying. Ran a bit wide there. I think I'm as far ahead of him as I've been in the last dozen laps or so. spot. You could probably jump up the inside if you wanted to jeopardize both of the cars. A little slow in the acceleration. He was too, though. Reverberations and things off the wall. I talk about going under that bridge there sounded cool, but you can really hear how far away the walls are as Lafitte's right there again. Gives a great sense of space. The audio is just so good.
Hold your nerve, just keep it smooth.
I'm trying. That was scary there. He's looking. He's just not daring enough to jump up the inside. But he's got me hot, like on my mirrors. All right, come across the line here. Come on, 7 more.
129.18.
7 more. Time's around. I haven't seen a laps car in forever. PK and Senna are way up there. I don't know what happened to Mansell today. I think it's PK and Senna. Senna's the one in front of me. Lafitte is just all over my gearbox. But he's being a polite Frenchman so far, and he's just not trying to make the move.
That's the fastest lap for PK, 127.02.
Alongside of me again, but I'll give him the outside. He can't really get around there. Doesn't try to do the over-under or anything. Oh, here he comes though, side by side, headed up into the S's. No. Oh, come on.
Come on, Jimmy. Don't let him get away.
I'm trying not to. Try to get a good run down the front stretch here. He's so good on acceleration. It's going defensive a little bit. Whoa, wheel to wheel. I think we hit a little bit. Jumping all over the curbs. Come on. If I don't get this back quick, he's going to be gone. That might have been it. I thought I had him there. I thought I just figured out where to put my car to make sure he couldn't get around, but I think my exit from the hairpin was really subpar, and he got to my left. Maybe I could have shut the door, but it's so risky through there. We're so deep in the race. I want to finish. He's pulling away.
Ahead is increasing. It's now 1.5 seconds.
Thanks, Jim. Couldn't tell. If I don't catch him on the straight here, I think it's going to be over. Unless his tires suddenly start wearing out, or we catch a lap car, of which there's been so few. Slide the rears through there. I don't have grip. My tires are much older than his. We'll start making the racing driver excuses, but for real, my tires are much older than his, so I just can't keep up, and now they just got in front of me. He's going to run away. All right.
Time was at 129.38.
Just 5 laps to go. I'm so close. Can I scrape something? Scrape a little grip without throwing the car into the wall. Corners like that where I just don't have the grip, and I think the extra wing definitely would have helped me. So live and learn. there though, so I'm not giving up yet, because you never know if there's a lapped car still in this world. Maybe it could just give me what I need to get back to him. It's becoming less and less likely though. He's pulling out at least a second a lap now. Come around, there's not many laps to go though. Just would love to see the checkered flag, I guess.
Was just retired.
Oh, that's always a possibility as well, although that wouldn't be on merit. You never know if one of the three in front of me has an issue. That's why we got to keep going to the end. You never know.
Fastest lap for PK, 127.02. Gap to left in front is now 3.8.
Yeah. He's just a bit faster. I tried my very, very hardest there. There's no gaming it at all. I was trying to game it actually. I was trying to block him essentially.
Prost behind
just kind of around me.
2.7.
Alright, hopefully Prost doesn't catch me here. I feel like I can see a car back there. Should have just 3 more laps. At 7.9, that would be a lot. Won't give up here, but I don't think Prost will get to me. So P4, 3 laps to go. Wrestling this turbo beast. I'll have to call this video something like turbo something. I don't know.
New fastest lap for PK, 127.02.
I don't know how many people are into this type of thing of a full distance race, but I just felt like doing it. Felt like really pushing AMS2 and seeing what it could do, and overall I'm really impressed with this. I mean, it's not, I'll be the first to admit I look at the older sims with rose-tinted glasses and give them a lot of slack for some of the stuff they don't do well. Especially like wheel-to-wheel AI racing and stuff. I mean,
Fabio has retired.
Whoa, my teammate Fabio, his glorious hair. I give IndyCar 2, GP2, all those old sims. I give them a lot of slack because they're a known, a known entity. We know exactly what they can and can't do, and we enjoy the good parts that they can do, and there's plenty of good parts. But I think there's as equal upsides and downsides to a game like this.
Left in front is now 4.6.
And
2 laps remaining.
You only really see it in these long races like this where you're really simulating it as it was. No accelerated fuel burn or tire wear or anything like that. Full distance Grand Prix. We've got many, many cars lapped down. It'll be interesting to see the scoring after the race. Many cars lapped down though, and the leaders are all spread out, but it still was an exciting race. Hard as nails. The fact that the AI can do a full race like this is very encouraging. It's strategy. Unless somebody starts pitting here with 1 to go, I think we'll call success on the race strategy. Lafitte was successfully able to do a 2-stopper and beat me, and if we had another 10 laps, I bet Prost would be up here too. Would it have been as exciting without the fuel, pitting for fuel? Maybe. The tires certainly wouldn't have made it the whole way on mediums. I feel like trash now. There's a laps car up there that Lafitte gets around. Just saw him dart to the inside. But whether it be some of the cars randomly blowing an engine in front of me or all the different battles we had, I think this has been very successful. I'm really encouraged to see this. and some of the missing tracks, which would, I feel like, make a lot of sense to do. I don't know if Reiza can get a license with like Paul Ricard, which has a lot of modern series on it these days, so you have to think it would actually please a lot of folks. You could race your endurance cars there, as well as model an older version so that we could have it for all this retro Formula stuff. Same thing with Mexico. Those two would be so nice to get. You know, I can understand maybe why they don't have Detroit downtown, although I would love it. It's kind of an obscure circuit that's not going to sell a lot. But we'll come through. We're on the final lap now. I am exhausted. I'm so exhausted. Qualifying and then the full race back to back is at the end of a very long day is a lot, but I'm so happy I did this. So we got a lap car trying to get around me here. Well, and I'll just totally miss the braking into the hairpin. This is not for a position. He backs out of it. So we'll come down. We just got the straight to go. Really happy I finished the race. Bummed I wasn't able to get third. I tried my very, very hardest to stay on the podium there, but Lafitte was just too good. He was very polite about it too, but he finally found a way around me. So come through the chicane to end the Canadian Grand Prix 1986 edition. The mad turbo powered cars. What a fun race. What a fun race that was. So if you can't tell, I'm absolutely exhausted from that. But here's the final results. Nelson Piquet, it's all Brazilian, 2 top steps of the podium. Nelson Piquet beats Ayrton Senna by only 13 seconds, which is not so bad. Pretty close race up front there. But Williams wins the day ahead of Ayrton Senna for Lotus, and then Jacques Lafitte getting that 3rd step of the podium. I almost had it. I had it for a while, but just wasn't able to hold on to it. Tried my very best to exploit the AI as much as possible and block them, but he got it fair and square, which is good to see. It probably should have been easier for him to get around me than it was, but he did end up getting around me, so all things worked out in the end. There I am, myself, Jake William, in 4th, driving Gerhard Berger's fake Benetton ahead of Alain Prost, and KK Rosberg getting the last points, so McLaren gets 5th and 6th in the points. And then if we look further down, the last car to finish was 10th place, Philippe Strife for Tyrrell, 3 laps down, and then we had the retirements. And it doesn't, unfortunately, tell us why they actually retired here, but it is Teo Fabi and Terry Boutsen retired as well. If we go down, Nigel Mansell retired at 37 laps, so about halfway through the race. Palmer as well. Nannini, we heard. Dumfries was battling with early on, retired. A lot of retirements, but honestly, maybe a couple more than there should have been. But these races had heavy retirements back in the day, so it's cool to see. I wish we could see exactly why they retired, though. I think it would add that little bit to it. But if you made it this far, if you watched this whole thing, I hope you enjoyed it. It was really fun to do, and I could imagine doing more of this if folks want to see full races in AMS2 or a full season even. I feel like the sim can handle it, at least around this track. We'll have to test a few others, but I do think that there are the circuits needed to put on a full season, and imagine the championship battles adding that extra bit of drama. I think could make it even more interesting. But hope you enjoyed. A really quite exhausting race, but I'm happy to have done it and happy to have had you along for the ride. So until next time, this is GP Laps, and I'll see you all again later.